And we're back recording game 2 of the finals of Chat Tournament 39 between Villalva and Reay. I missed the first move on recording this one, but Reay goes in 4. Seems a natural move with 7973 ready to capture. I, per usual, will complain that I do not like side starters, but not looking a ton at it, sure. Um, Notably, Villalva does have safety in both those squares as well, with 4A76. But does he have an L? I guess that's the thing to check. Notably, Reay has multiple cards that can. No, he only has the one card that can recapture safely. 4779 is pretty good coverage and very hard for Reay to ever combo back. So, okay. Um, if Villalva wants to go for an L, 4A76 can land in 1 or 7. There's always a case for starting in 2 or 8, but I think when you have safety in both squares, it's pretty easy to finagle. Villalva can play in either 1 or 7, Reay will play 7973 in the other, and you have your choice of 2 or 8 depending how you set up. Now, the funniest way I can see to set up a plus in 5 is 29A5 and 8, setting up 8891, but I suspect this is not the best way available. Let's take a sec to look for other options. I think the most appealing way is 8891 in 2. The reason that's more appealing, we don't have a recapture in 3 because we'll have used Kamari, but we won't ever need one because Reay does not have a capture in 5, and it threatens a very nice card landing in 5. And Reay's only capture in 3 is 554A, which is a card we can capture with a fairly high number facing out. Not that high, we're pretty bad going up. Maybe I should not be trying to use 8891 quickly as it's our only card with much ups. Do we have a better setup? There's also 8891 and 8. And maybe that is a better version. Maybe that's a better version simply because we direct the game more downward. So, okay, something like Kamari 7, 79731, 88918. We create a threat in 5, but now they do have captures in 5. We don't want to concede captures in 5. So I'm back to 2. So let's say our main line is Kamari 1, 79737, 8891. Is that Golbez? I think that's Golbez. We'll call it Golbez. If it's not Golbez, I'm sorry. 8891 2. It's pretty hard to lose if we land 6975 and 5. Like, maybe Reay has something clever in 6, but let's assume Reay has to block 5 there. He plays something like 1898 and 5. Now, we don't have something like 2985 and 3 because 8891 covers it. And in fact, it covers everything else in 3. We don't have 3 there. Ooh, we don't really have captures. Huh. Maybe 6975 and 8 holds. My point is that 4779 has a plus wall in 6, but I don't think that holds. Oh, that might be losing. The L's might not be so good, or at least the obvious L's. Interesting. All right, we can workshop this. We can workshop this. I like making L's work. I'm an L guy. What if we start 29A5 in 1? We're trying to hold on to Kamari. Does it matter that we hold on to Kamari? It's not like Kamari's ups are good. I'm trying to be clever because 554A and 2 is comboed usefully by 4779 and 3. So I think 1 is still met by 7. And now, for my final trick, I think I'm still playing Golbez in 2. You're still going 5. Kamari. But now it's a question, what do you put in 5? Okay. I don't want to spend too long on this random variation. That's just something I'm curious about. But 29851, 79737, 88912. Now, if 18985, I can play Kamari safely in 8. I have a safe card to put in 8, and I didn't if I had used Kamari. And it's 5-5. And now, if you go 5-5-4A in 3, or I could hold on to Kamari so you don't have that. I think I'm still losing there, though. I think I'm still losing there. Huh. Alright, well, I'm having trouble calculating, but maybe the L's are bad here. Should make this a pretty good starter. Let's see what Villalva does. Villalva plays 8-8-9-1 and 5. Now that seemed a really critical card given the lack of up power in Ray's hand, right? That seemed a really useful, maybe not sweeper, but just card to control space. It also doesn't give Villalva 8, right? 7, 9, 7, 3, and 7 is still landing safely. It is no longer landing safely in 1, though. So this covers 1, but it doesn't cover 7. But Kamari is still safe in 1. So it kind of pushes Reay to go 7, but Kamari in 1 is always the reply. Does it prepare to go 7? Huh? Maybe it does. Maybe it prepares to go 7. So if he's threatening to go in 7, does Reay go 9 to try to control that? But you can't use 5-5-4A. 5-5-4A is too useful a side-to-side card here. It's too unique a power in your hand. You could use 7-9-7-3, but that's probably not a card you're looking to give up. Maybe Reay should actually be looking to go 3 because of the lack of ups now. Is there a nice way to take advantage of that? I guess 18983 is nicely covered now after the move in 5. The other cards you kind of want to keep in your hand. There's also 6. Take advantage of a lack of ups in 6. Probably with either 8891 or 1898, one of the 988s. That seems fine. I feel like there should be something more punishing of this, though, than like 3, 6, or 9. But I don't see a way to force the action, so maybe it's just good. Maybe it's just good. And there's very little combo potential here. Okay, let's see what happened. 8891 in 6. So that can't be taken by 9. There's only one capture in 3, and it's 2985. That isn't comboed. But it can be taken back really safely anytime with 5-5-4A. And actually, 5-5-4A, I didn't realize this at the time, but the card in 5 is plus walled and 8 by it. And that can now combo through that to hit 6. That's a pretty powerful effect. Now, I thought Villalva's threat in general was to go Kamari in 7. So if Kamari in 7, the point is that 7973 and 1 is covered. Oh, but it's no longer covered by Kamari once you use it. All right, so it's not Kamari in 7. But let's say we can use 6975 in 7, right? Because if that's ever taken by 5-5-4A, we have 2985. Same wall is on, comboing back. So 6975 and 7. And now Reay does not have 7973 and 1 because Kamari in 2 is quite strong. The combo back doesn't flip any extra cards. And if 1898 and 1, 4A 7 6 and 2 also works, and there's no combo, right? So Makem, whatever his name is, 6975, green face, green hat, and 7. Looks to me like the try. Now maybe you run into trouble after 3 because you kind of have no captures on board. So maybe which card in 3? It's hard to pick a card there. Let's just keep it simple. Say safety, 554A goes in 3. And then 29A5 goes in 8. Yeah, that holds, right? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, because 7, 9, 7, 3, and 9. And you actually get swept by 1, 8, 9, 8 on the top row. Oh. Fair enough, yeah. I think 7 loses to 3. Just don't have the captures on board. 8, 8, 9, 1, and 5 kind of set up the other person's cards too much. Alright, well, if we don't have 7, this is quite dangerous. Yeah, swapping 6975 could have used 2985 and 7 as well. Then I don't have combos back on 554A, but it doesn't change the previous line at all, 7 being met by 3. Yeah, I think this is very dangerous. Okay, 6 was a lot better than I thought. I'm curious what happened. We can check with the solver later. Alright, long think. That makes sense. Kamari in 1. Now this seemed like a worse version because 7973 can land in 7. It's really trying to keep Kamari in the hand so it controlled some space. But maybe it just looks kind of similar to the last line where in the variation I was looking at we had a Z where we basically had no useful captures ever basically, so we were in this 5-5 structure but one where they were going to capture more than us. And here it might be the same thing, right? 7, 9, 7, 3, and 7. You have no captures in 8. You have no captures in 9. It's 5, 5, and your only possible capture on board is in 3, 2, 9, 8, 5, but that is covered by 5, 5, 4A. And in fact, 5, 5, 4A just kills you on top because it has a same or overpowers. Yeah, so it's got to be 7, right? Yeah. Yeah, the problem is 1898 has the capture there, right? Oh, and I didn't even record to the end of this game. Yeah, because I looked at this and saw 554A was sweeping, and red is already up 6-4. I think Villalva did go out the classy way here with a 2-9-8-5 and 3, much like Tezuka did against Villalva, losing 8-2. There was no 9-1 loss available. This was a weirdly tough spot. I think this was a very tricky game to play well because on turn 2, I didn't find an L I was happy with for Villalva. And if there's no comfortable L against a side starter, they are quite dangerous. And I didn't see a tying line on turn 4. That doesn't mean there wasn't one, but I did not see it. And yeah, I think we'll head over to the solver. So we're back, and there are 5 ties in this position. The move played was not a tie due to Reay's response. My idea to try to stick something in 7 did work. So I thought that lost after this, but I had miscounted the score. We're up 6-4. And there is a tie here. and it is to block 8, which I had decided was a loss due to this move, and that's because I can't count. Um, yeah, that's just because I can't count. And it didn't matter whether we had flipped 4. So this was a really bad calculation on my part. But the move in 7 and the concept of it, I hope makes sense and was good thinking, right? Was I don't want to sequence it such that they lock the card in 4. And right now, I control a 9 to the left or an 8 to the left in 4. So I really want to do it through 7, but I have to keep this card in my hand to control 1, right? So I want to do some capture in 7. I want it to be safe. This is the one where I have a combo back. So this seemed the logical move to me. And I then miscalculated and didn't realize that this line does hold. But the logic was right. The calculation was wrong. Other ties. Apparently this ties, which is a little more surprising given that this kind of position seems quite dangerous. Right? Why would this tie but not other lines? Well, it's because we set up a plus, right? Now you might say, but this one we also set up a plus. But importantly, 5 didn't flip here, so this plus never does that much damage. But in the other line, we tricked them into flipping 5 because this accidentally has the plus wall, and now we actually do have uses for 8. So it makes sense this would tie. That's clever and reasonable. This is also a tie. I wasn't as sure of this because its coverage of this was worse. Not saying they have to capture immediately, they probably shouldn't, but I liked making sure we could combo back. But it makes sense that that's pretty similar to this, right? It's pretty similar. This just happens to concede something, but if this isn't dangerous, it's going to be fine as well. But I don't know why you'd ever play this if this was available, because it's just like strictly worse version. Yeah, basically the ties were all 7 or 8, except for this tie, which I did not consider and seems dangerous. But apparently there are lots of ties there. Alright, cool. So there were a few ties here, but nothing like easy to find. It was the computer thinks this position was pretty safe. I'm curious about the line I calculated. First I looked at here, and then I assumed here. And I thought this was dangerous because I thought this didn't go well for me. And I thought so because of this. But I'm winning here. Either of these cards in 9 win. Because 4, 7, 7, 9 in 6 means 5 controls 8. Yeah, so I didn't see this at distance, It's pretty hard on move 2 to see that on move 6 you have a big setup. Alright, I missed that. Okay, so that does hold. And this is the kind of thing that in-game, if you get here, you find. Do you find it here? Maybe not. Depends. So then I tried to adjust to starting it with this card. And I got to this position. And I got here, and I assume the same thing happens. Yeah, same thing. Okay, so I didn't see this right, but interestingly, if you don't find the move in 9, this is losing. My idea does lose. So if I miss that idea, it's not that I misevaluated the other positions. If 9 doesn't exist, you are losing. So this does make, I think, the L's trickier than they look, because you have to spot very distant combos to get that kind of thing to work. That's neat. Alright, hope you enjoyed these games. Congratulations to Reay for winning Chat Tournament 39. He finally wins one. And, yeah, there you have it.